My name's CheekySport Joel, and you're watching Arsenal Nation, the show with the best online Arsenal debates. We have two great guests today. I would like to start off with my man James from the Gunnerblog. How you doing, my man?
Very well, thank you. Pleased to be here.
Good stuff. Great to have you indeed. And secondly, we have my man Jim from the Football Ramble. How you doing?
Good, thanks, mate.
Good stuff. Loving the shirt, by the way. Very classy, very classy. Okay, guys, today we're going to go through our questions. Firstly, let's start off with this one. If Arsenal finish outside of the top four, will beating Chelsea in the FA Cup final make up for it? We'll start with James. Go.
OK, look, I've got to say, I really hope we beat Chelsea in the final. I hope that more than most people. My brother's a Chelsea fan, but it's a big one for me. But if we do it, I don't think it makes up for everything we've seen this season. I think, look, the Premier League is the true measure of a team's success. It's 38 games. And I think, you know, the FA Cup's, what, 6 matches to get to the final or to win the thing? I don't think you can say that that makes it a successful season in itself. I think you need a more concerted campaign. I think we've been disappointing in the league. And for me, I don't think it'll make up for it if we have that good day out of Wembley. I'll enjoy it, granted, but it won't be enough to make up for it.
I can see Jim wants to butt in and say something. Jim, what's your thoughts?
Well, I just feel like the best experience you have as a football fan is the day that your club wins something. And we're lucky as Arsenal fans, we've experienced a lot of it. Not so much of late, but you know, the two recent FA Cup wins were just such an amazing feeling, such a release after a very sort of frustrating campaign. And it could be the same again. It would be a great thing for the team, having been on that journey. And I know they played Sutton and Lincoln, but they just beat City and very well. And if they beat Chelsea as well, nobody could argue that it wasn't a successful and difficult run to get through. And I just feel like winning trophies is what football is about, and we've got no divine right to be in the top four. So for me, you can only say a season in which you win something is a success.
Well, Jim, I mean, you mentioned those cup wins. You're right. We've been there. We've done it in the past couple of years. What we want is success now in the Premier League. That's the next phase for this team. That's what they've got to push on and do. And I think being in the top four is a great stepping stone to going on to challenge properly for the Premier League title. If we finish outside there, I think, who knows where we're going to be in the Premier League next season. So for me, I'd rather have that high place up in the league.
All right, guys, I hear both of your arguments, but let's just say this. In the beginning of the season, I'm very sure that our aim was to actually win the league. And you know what? A cup was probably more of a consolation or secondary. So far, I'm seeing a shift in what's happened this season. Would you say this is the truth? This has changed? Jim, let me know what your thoughts are.
So I think, yeah, the expectations of any season realistically change. And that's true of the majority of clubs, really. And we've had a harder season than we thought we would. So if we can end it with a victory in the FA Cup, that can only be a good thing.
Jim, isn't that just moving the goalpost? Shouldn't our aims at the start of the season be the same as our aims at the end of the season? Whatever's happened over the course of this campaign, we should still be behaving like a big club and looking to be in the top four of the Premier League. That really, ultimately, is going to be the true measure of our success.
Well, I think, yeah, the way to be professional, though, now is to win the FA Cup because, the Premier League's very, very competitive. It's 6 teams looking to go into 4 spots. And we're in a weird situation where we've got to make up 5 points over 2 teams with 5 games left. And that is just about doable, but it is dependent on what those other 2 teams do. So it might be that there's nothing we can do about that at this point. So to be as professional as possible, the best thing we can do is go out and win the FA Cup.
Look, my hypothesis, Jim, is that being in the top 4 gets us closer to winning the Premier League. And let me ask you this. We've won the FA Cup twice in the last few years. We might win it a 3rd time. If you could swap those potentially 3 cup final victories for 1 Premier League title, would you do it? I know that I would.
I would have to say, yes, I would. Winning the Premier League is the best thing. It absolutely is the best, but it doesn't mean that winning the FA Cup isn't also brilliant.
Yeah, well, I concede on that.
All right, guys, but you've got to remember that it is fair to say that teams have actually done better when not being involved in the Champions League. You have Leicester, who were able to win the league because they had nothing else to worry about. And it looks like Chelsea are going to win the league without having Champions League football. Maybe this could actually benefit Arsenal, wouldn't you say? We're going to go with Jim this time.
Well, the major difference with that is that Leicester and Chelsea, they didn't have any European commitments at all because they weren't in the Europa League. The likelihood is that if we're not in the Champions League, we will be in the Europa League. And I think we've guaranteed that now. So that is I think it adds something like 16 games to a season if you get to the final. So it's a big commitment. And I think if Arsenal are in that competition, they will take it seriously as well. So I think it will make it harder. I really do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think being in the Europa League has proved problematic for teams in the past. Chelsea and Leicester, they were out of European competition entirely. Fortunately, it looks like that's not going to be the case for Arsenal, but it could leave us with a very difficult fixture list to juggle next season.
And that's what the guys think. Okay, you guys watching from home, please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, on to the second question. Should Alexis have made the PFA Team of the Year? We started off with James last time, so this time we're going to go off with you, Jim.
Absolutely, he should have. He's been an absolute warrior this year. He's been brilliant. He's had a bit of criticism from some places, but I think it's unfair. It's probably been his best season for us. Sadio Mane got in the team, but wasn't actually nominated for the proper award. So to me, that's inconsistent. It makes no sense. And obviously, yeah, he should obviously be there.
Yeah, look, I cannot disagree with that at all. Alexis should undoubtedly be in there. I think individual awards in football are a bit of an odd thing. Arsene Wenger himself always says he finds it a bit strange. But if there's anyone who is deserving of it, it is Alexis. And it would be appropriate, really, because he's such a brilliant individual player. Even at times when the team has been struggling, he's stepped up. He's managed to make something happen on his own. He's got that mercurial style. He's been a pleasure to watch this season. And I think it's ridiculous that he didn't make the team.
So, James, my question is, why do they maintain a 4-4-2 formation when no one plays 4-4-2 anymore? I mean, even Arsenal, we're playing 3 at the back now. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Would you agree? Yes, no? Guys, let me know.
I completely agree. Look, the PFA Team of the Year, 4-4-2 maybe last year because Leicester won the league playing a 4-4-2. This year, 3 at the back's the new formation. It's in vogue. It should have been laid out like that. I think you could have had a lovely Team of the Year looking like that, and it would have allowed you to get maybe another attacker in, get Alexis in up top. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty silly, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, there is a Team of the Year, and it's the team that wins the league, isn't it? We don't need to make one up from others. And I think as well, even that said, Alexis, because he's played out wide and he's played in the centre, he's given you something that some of the other players in there don't. So I know it's just another string to his bow as far as I'm concerned.
Guys, I'm loving both your points. I'm loving both of your points. Could you say that possibly the fact that Alexis Sanchez's first part of the season was actually stronger than the second part of the season because of where he's been moved over to the left-hand side of midfield has made him suffer? Because like you remember, in the beginning of the season, it's whether Alexis should play up front or should he play on the wings. Do you reckon that's affected his season and possibly his team in the PFA Team of the Year?
I reckon there's an argument for that, yeah, because I don't really know why he stopped playing down the middle, because it was very, very effective. It seemed to suit him, despite his height, you know, and the idea that he's not the biggest man in the box to be shooting balls at. He still seems to score a decent amount of headers, and I think Arsenal are right up there in terms of the teams that have scored the most headers. So I don't think that really affected us. So I think there's a possibility that could have gone against him, yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, centre-forwards are so eye-catching, aren't they? And if you look at Harry Kane and Romelu Lukaku, did make that Team of the Year. I think if Alexis had stayed at the figurehead of the Arsenal attack, the spearhead of the attack, I think he would have absolutely blown them away in terms of goals because he was on fire in the first half of the season. He's been moved out to the wing in the second half. Arsene Wenger says he likes playing there. He likes to drop deep, likes to pick up the ball. But for me, he'd be playing up top every single time.
That's what the guys think. Let us know in the comments below. Should Alexis be in the PFA Team of the Year? Moving on to the next part of the show, it's the back 3. That's right, the back 3, not the back 4, because Arsenal are playing 3 at the back now. So you have 30 seconds to answer 3 questions. The time starts now. Would you take a point at White Hart Lane on Sunday, James?
Yes, I would.
No.
Back 3 or back 4?
Back 3.
Yeah, back 3, it works.
Which referee decision would you like to get back?
Oh, 2006 Champions League final, Jens Lehmann sending off.
Yeah, for me, other than that, it would be Van Persie getting sent off in the Nou Camp against Barcelona for, I can't even remember what. I don't think he knew.
Stop the clock! Stop the clock. Well done, guys. 25 seconds. Definitely a record. Definitely a record. I would like to say thank you very much, James, from the Gunnerblog. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for being here today.
Cheers.
Lovely man. And also yourself, Jim, from Football Ramble. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. You guys watching at home, let us know in the comments what you thought. My name's CheekySport Joel. I'm here hosting the Arsenal Nation. And guess what? I'm out.